listening to Radio DePaul. Awarded Best Station in the Nation 2020.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to an episode of the Jonah Keen Show on Radio DePaul. Welcome one and welcome all. For those who are tuning in for the very first time, you may be curious as to what the Jonah Keen Show is all about. Well, I'll tell you. Ever since I was a teenager, I've had an absolute passion for giving advice. Some kids did sports, some kids did theater, some kids did math club, but I did advice. In fact, I've been a certified advice giver for almost 10 years now. Good job, me. On the Jonah Keen Show, I'll be interviewing folks who have a wide range of expertise and advice to share. Also on the show, there will be some opportunities to call into the station and ask for your own personalized advice. Maybe you need some relationship advice. What about pet advice? Maybe you need some financial advice. Maybe you just need some good old-fashioned self-help advice. We take all kinds of requests for advice. My name is Jonah, Mr. Advice Keen, and welcome to the Jonah Keen Show. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of the Jonah Keen Show. It has been a crazy week. I've been getting the lawsuit up and rolling, but we won't really be talking about that today because I am here with my father, Terry Keen. Welcome to the show.
Terry here.
Terry and I have kind of had a bonding moment over the holidays. As most of you guys know, over the holidays, I was kicked out of DePaul University for filling out my financial information incorrectly. It was a mistake on my part. I'll admit it was.
Hey, get off the lawn! This neighbor's dog, I tell you what. You want me to? Yeah, I bet you will. Get off the lawn! Jeez, this is a nerve. All right, go ahead with your silly show.
What was I saying? Oh, the FAFSA. I ended up filling my financial information wrong, and it was kicked out of DePaul University. However, after trying to call everyone I knew, everyone that could possibly help me, the only one who came through for me was my father, Terry Keen. And he ended up picking me up from Chicago, driving me back down to his double wide over in Indianapolis, Indiana. Go Pacers. And we
Go
really
Bulls. Pacers. You kidding me?
Well, that doesn't matter. And you really stuck through with me, and I just really appreciate it. You've really helped me turn things back around once again. I'm living back up here in Chicago now in my Chevy Astro van that you ended up gifting me.
Well, let's make one thing perfectly clear here. You stole the van. I left it in the garage. We had the keys in there. I went inside, was making some spam. And next thing you know, voila, you gone. I don't know what's up with that. Are you bringing it back? Is this why you're calling me? You're going to bring the car back, or I got to drive up there and thump you?
Well, I thought you gifted me the van for Christmas. That's what you said.
I don't think I said that unless I was 14 Schlitz malt liquors in. And that was an accident because I've got a lot of equity in that van. That thing's worth a lot of money.
Well, yeah, that's why I was so surprised. Wait, but I'm living here in the van now. I can't really give it back to you right now until I get back up on my feet. But you definitely gave me the van. It was not a I did not.
I've
steal
called a
the
police
van.
report in that the van's stolen, so we'll start there. And you're living in the van. That's that was my man cave, and where I go in there and watch the Bulls, fix up some macaroni on the grill inside the van. By the way, leave the window open. There's one time I gassed myself out. However, the van is mine. The only reasonable thing that I can see right now is to charge you rent because you're living in my building.
Well, good luck sending it to me because I don't really even have an address right now. I'm living in the parking garage over in DePaul University. Just so I can, it's an easy commute to the Radio DePaul station, so I can still do my show every week. Welcome to the show, by the way.
Well, you got to be making good money on the show then, so you got to be paying me some rent.
Well,
I'll give you my address to send the check.
Well, I'm not certainly making money right now on the show. It's kind of a deal where I don't make money, but in the future I might have some money be sent my way. We'll see.
Let me get this straight. You make no money doing this show with all your so-called silly advice. You're just doing that for free? I'll tell you what, when I started Terry Keen Automotive, I didn't do anything for free. You think I do a free oil change every time somebody buys a car? That's crazy. I charge $149 just to have them pop the hood. I'm an entrepreneur. That's why. We don't give stuff away for free. I thought I told you better than this. This is crazy.
Well, no, it's a kind of a long-term investment because eventually, once I build up enough episodes in my catalog, I'll be able to sell the rights to my show and maybe even make some money, or even some podcasting scouts might pick up on my show and want to buy it from me, and I'll make a ton of money when that eventually happens one day, but it's definitely not guaranteed.
A podcast scout, like a scout for the Bulls. They're going to go out and look for talent. There's a scout out there going to go pull your funny show.
Yeah,
are you kidding me? You want to talk about investments? I'll tell you investing. I bought that Aerostar, a Ford Aerostar, $18. Just yesterday, I sold it for $19.50. $19.50. It didn't run, didn't have wheels, didn't have a motor, but yet I turned a profit because I'm an investor.
Wow. Well, I don't know why you're suddenly getting all grumpy again. When you picked me up, you seemed very happy to see me, and we even hugged when I was staying with you over the holiday break. Why are you suddenly being so aggressive towards me once again?
Are you talking about when I picked you up? You were coming at me like a maniac. I thought you were trying to fight me. I've been taking karate lessons at my local YMCA. You were all crying and sobbing uncontrollably. I was trying to get you in a headlock. It's called a guillotine choke, where I try to get your neck inside my arm and I try to choke you. If you want to call that a hug. Oh, yeah, I was trying to hug your neck with my bicep and choke you.
Well, I thought it was just a nice hug, but I guess if you saw it like you were trying to attack me, that's just something else entirely.
Well, I didn't get to go to choke because you were covered in tears, so you slipped right through. I'll have to talk to my sensei about that.
I was very emotional because you've never hugged me in all my years of you being my dad. You've never hugged me once, and apparently the one time I thought you did hug me, you didn't. So,
well, I hugged you when you were a kid, I think. You should ask your mom.
Well,
there was one time I think I did, so that's false.
Well, she's been dead for at least 10 years at this point, so I don't even know why you're talking about her.
Well, that makes her hard to ask then, huh?
Yeah, I mean, well, so apparently I stole I'm sorry, I can't give you back the van. We're not talking about. I got to keep the van.
Well, we got to work
now.
this out. That thing's got a lot of equity in it. There's at least $30-$40 in that of equity that you're costing me. So the only reason, look, I'm Terry Keen. I'm a reasonable guy. The most reasonable thing here is you pay me rent. We'll come up with a price it's reasonable. I'm thinking probably $2,000-$3,000 a month.
$2,000 to $3,000 a month? Are you kidding me right now?
You know what I could rent that thing on the open market for? That thing is a national treasure.
I don't know about that. The
That was at
baby
least a
blue.
discount.
I was looking on the market at other Astrovans, and they're really not that expensive. I mean, I saw one for only $300, but this one has a stove and a countertop and all that stuff. So maybe add a few extra dollars, but um, it really, I'm sorry, I can't pay your rent right now. I'm just going to live in it for now. And once I get back up on my feet and get my hands on some money, maybe with this lawsuit going on right now, I'll forward you some money and I'll send the Chevy Astrovan back home to you. Both have been actually it, and all the money for the publisher ended up being stolen as well. So I'm actually working on a lawsuit right now. But that's not why you're here today. You're here to give some advice, and I feel like this show so far has really been lacking in advice. So I think we should just get on with some advice. In the theme of today's show, actually, I've decided we're going to be doing cars because I know you're a big car person, and we're going to be doing some car themed advice. Do you have any car themed advice? Just general advice?
Well, here's my first thing of advice. If somebody steals your car, charge them rent, especially if they're living in it. However,
No,
it's totally unrelated to what we're talking about.
very, very unrelated.
Okay,
Um,
we've got that solved.
if you are trying to find a cheap car in the city, where would you go if you're in Chicago?
Well, most likely in Chicago, the car is stolen, and that is also true in the case of your car. However, if you're able to find a cheap car, you want to go in the outskirts. You want to get into the safer neighborhoods in like South Chicago, where you can go look at the car, look under the car, see if there's rust and what have you. Look into the steering column. If there's a screwdriver in there, stolen.
Okay. Just if a screwdriver is in the car, it's stolen.
That's correct.
Okay. Well, that's an interesting rule. I'd write that down. If all the listeners who are listening right now, I'd write that down. That's actually it's an interesting piece of advice. That's all I'll say.
It's really good.
Yeah. And you're hearing that from me, Jonah, Mr. Advice Keen. Here's another question for you, Terry, owner of Terry Keen Automotive. If your car's battery dies, like mine did a few years ago when I had a car, what is the first thing to do?
Well, your car battery died. I remember this. This was in March, correct?
Yeah.
Of that year?
Mm-hmm.
Yes. I remember this. The reason your car died is because every morning you go out and you turn the car on, not all the way on, so there's charging the battery, but just halfway on so you can get the radio, and you would sing Cyndi Lauper as high as you could until I swear the window was going to break. That's why your battery died.
Well, Time After Time is one of my favorite songs. You should know this. And it is an essential part of my day is singing Time After Time. It really gets my
That's
gears
why your
going.
battery died, is because you kept singing it time after time, day after day, month after month. It was unbelievable. Anyway, to get a battery, you want to get one that fits in the car.
Okay. So not your average, not your usual AA batteries you get at the local Walmart.
No, are you kidding me? You got to go to the automotive section of Walmart and pick out a battery there. Make sure you try to get one that's new.
Okay.
I mean, I've been doing this a lot of years. This stuff just comes naturally to me. This advice. I mean, it's just, if we're talking cars, I know cars is like the back of my hand.
Well, that's why you're on the show, because you're so very talented at giving car themed advice, and we really appreciate it here at the Jonah Keen Show. What are some of the most frequently asked questions that you get at Terry Keen Automotive? I'm sure a lot of people ask you a lot of questions.
I think the number one question that everybody says first is this car stolen? Because it looks stolen. And that's one, it's not always true that it's stolen. But however, sometimes you can get good deals when it's called, when a car is hot, not like hot to touch it, but I think your listeners, listener, you have a listener.
There's more than one listener. There's quite a few thousand, actually. We're the hottest show on Radio DePaul.
Okay, yeah, whatever. They ask, is it stolen? And the nice thing about car sales is you don't have to be truthful. So, not like when you buy a house, like if you say, hey, is this house doesn't have a roof? And you can't say, yeah, it has a roof, even though there's a lake in the front room. You can't say that in real estate. See, you don't know this, but I also invest in real estate. I'm very successful in everything I do. However, in cars, you can just lie. And so if they say, hey, is it stolen? You just say no.
Well, that doesn't sound very ethical now, would it?
Well, I don't know how you define that. However, I know that I make a lot of money. This month alone at Terry Keen Automotive on Winchester Avenue in Indianapolis, I cleared, meaning in my pocket, over $700 this month alone.
What? Wow, that's a lot of money.
Yeah.
Nothing to scoff at. I guess I will end this conversation with you, Terry. I just want to say that the Pacers this season have never looked better, and
this again.
I really do think next year they will be able to take on the Bulls and pretty much whoop them. They will take them straight on and straight out.
Do you even watch the games? The Bulls are one of the greatest teams ever. Ever heard of a guy named Dennis Rodman?
No, because I don't really care about those teams. All I care about is the Pacers and everything Pacers. Go Pacers, not the Bulls.
Bill Cartwright is one of the greatest Bulls player ever. There's other guys like Horace Grant, Scottie Pippen. I can't think of any other Bulls at the moment, but they are the team of destiny. Watch this year. They will win the Stanley Cup.
You don't even...
I know my Bulls. I know my Bulls.
You do not. You can barely even name 3 players. You're a liar. I know every single Pacers player.
Okay.
Every single one.
This is what it always comes down to.
By first and last
players.
name. Want to hear them? Want to hear every single one?
No, I don't want to hear them.
Miles Turner.
I'll name
Tyrese Halliburton. O'Shea Brissett. Goga Batazzi. TJ McConnell.
Sound like made-up names.
Buddy Hield.
That's a restaurant.
Benedict Martharin.
The third one you said was a restaurant.
Goga Batazzi.
That sounds like a dance that you would do in the Middle East. Come on.
Well, he is of a Arabian descent.
I told you, you're just making up names.
Chris Darty.
I've told you some of the players that I know, the Bulls. I can't rattle them off, but they're better.
Isaiah Jackson, Aaron Nesmith, Trevlin Queen.
Okay, you've proved your point. You can read names off of paper. It's made up.
No, it's
people.
Memorized. It's memorized. Okay. It's not on a piece of paper.
Those aren't even players, I guarantee.
How does it feel that you just lost in a debate to your own son?
Well, how does it feel that I'm going to be evicting you out of my van?
Well,
good luck. You're not paying rent.
Good luck finding me. You have no idea where I'm at. It's a big city here in Chicago.
You said you're in the DePaul parking lot. I will drive every one
No,
of them in
no.
my Buick Enclave, which you haven't even seen that car because I got more cars, and it's purple, and that has a lot of equity too. And I'll be driving that up there. And when I find you, I'm going to talk to my sensei at the YMCA, and that choke is going to happen. You can count on it.
I'm not in the DePaul garage. I'm somewhere else. I am.
Well, Chicago's not that big.
No,
I will find you.
I'm not in the. Well, you don't have to check in the DePaul garages because I'm not there. So you can check that off your list of places to look.
Okay, I won't go there, but I'll go somewhere and I'll find you.
Good luck. Good luck. That's all I'll say. Anyways, Terry, thank you for being on the show. It means a ton. I hope everyone enjoyed talking to Terry, listening to Terry's advice on cars.
Terry Keen Automotive, Indianapolis, Indiana. Come see me. Buy me a car. Terry Keen Automotive.
I wouldn't take everything Terry said word for word as truth. Sometimes he is kind of an unreliable narrator in some senses. But
here we go.
Anyways, thank you, Terry, for the great advice, and I guess I will see you when I see you. Maybe when I return the Chevy Astrovan.
Yeah, get that back down here now. I got a date
it'll be
Saturday that I got to use that stove. I'm gonna make up some spaghetti ravioli dish that I saw online.
Okay, well that might be good, but I'm not going to return the Astrovan right away. It'll be a couple months at least, but you will see it again. I promise you this, and because I know you do like it very much. But,
well, bring the rent check. All right, I gotta go here. There's somebody's walking in the office here. Yeah. Okay. Hey, Terry Keen. Terry out. Terry out.
Bye-bye.
Okay, everyone. That was my father, Terry Keen. If I were you, I wouldn't listen to everything he was talking about, especially the stuff regarding him not hugging me or the stuff about me stealing the van. That's definitely not something that's totally exactly the truth. Also, this is what I think. My dad is definitely getting old. He may have a screw loose or something. I really don't know for sure. In fact, when I obtained the Astrovan and I drove it up here, I actually had to stop quite a few times because everything was falling apart. I would not recommend Terry Keen Automotive, no matter what he says. Do not go there. And apparently Chevy Astrovans are supposed to last a very long time, but like even over 200,000 miles. Of course, it's on 275 right now, 275,000 miles, but which is a little over how long you're supposed to keep it. It really is falling apart, and I really do think it's because of my dad. So I would not listen to any of his advice regarding anything he talked about today. Take everything with a grain of salt. Okay. In other news, this evening at 5 p.m. CST, I am going to be on the Talking, Laughing, Funny, Everybody Friends show right here on RadioDePaul.com. I will be giving you some very, let's just say, interesting advice that will hopefully make Radio DePaul history. You'll just have to wait and see. It's very exciting. I hope everyone can make it out tonight. It's going to be a hoot and a holler, and, you'll see. I'd also like to point everyone's attention to my YouTube channel, the Jonah Keen Podcast on YouTube. This YouTube channel has pretty much all episodes of the Jonah Keen Show, as well as previous episodes of my other shows. A lot of people don't know this because they just know this show because it's very popular, but I had 2 other shows before this. I had the KidTube Entertainment Podcast with the Penna Corporation, and of course they kind of screwed me over there. And then I had to convert. I decided I want to be my own boss, and I wanted to start fresh, and I started the Jonah Keen Podcast, and I uploaded all those episodes on my YouTube channel. And so all the episodes I did of KidTube Entertainment and the Jonah Keen Podcast are on the channel, and all the shows I do on RadioDePaul.com also end up on that channel.
I also upload all my guest appearances on the other shows I've been on. Like I went on a UIC, the University of Illinois Chicago podcast, and I did some celebrity advice there, and I also talked a little bit about my father and our relationship. Of course, that was a few months ago now. Everything's kind of changed, but and also I'll be uploading the Funny Talking Laughing Everything Everywhere All at Once show to my channel as well. Once we do that show tonight, I'll definitely upload it, so check it out. Once again, it's the Jonah Keen Podcast YouTube channel. Anyways, I guess thank you all for tuning in. I don't really have a lot more to say today. Thank you all for tuning in to the Jonah Keen Show. Next week, I have obtained a special guest star who is from all the way across the globe. No, it's not in China. No, it's not in Korea. No, it's not in Russia. They are Australian. And I have some expert advice that they are very excited to share. So I would just look forward to that. See you all next week or see you tonight. Depends on if you're wanting to check out my guest appearance. But anyways, see you all next week, everyone. Bye-bye.